B-Knocks.
Welcome back to B-KnockzTV. This episode is dedicated to my brother, T-Dub, who passed away the same day I dropped my last video. Rest in peace, bro. Gone but never forgotten. Sorry for the delay. It's been rough, but I'm back to it. Today, we're going to cover the golden era of Memphis rap from the early to late 90s. Everything from the majors to the underground. I know I didn't get them all, so for the ones I didn't cover, leave it in the comments. Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm not going to touch 8Ball and MJG or Tila. That's going to be another video. No need to keep you waiting. Let's get it. We're going to kick it off with DJ Spanish Fly, considered to be the first true pioneer of the Memphis rap scene. He dropped several mixtapes in the late 80s and into the 90s. If you listen to some of his songs like Gangsta Walk, Cement Shoes, Smoking Onion, and a whole lot of others, you can clearly see where DJ Paul and Juicy J got their inspiration. Shout out to DJ Spanish Fly. Next, we have the 666 Mafia, founded by DJ Paul and Juicy J. This group consisted of original members DJ Paul, Juicy J, Lord Infamous, Crunchy Black, Gangsta Boo, and the Koopsta nigga. Now before the group formed, DJ Paul and Lord Infamous dropped an album titled Come With Me to Hell under the name The Serial Killers in 1993. Also, that same year, Juicy J dropped his first solo tape titled Volume 5. A year later, they would drop their debut mixtape as a collective called Smoked Out Loked Out. This mixtape would also feature other artists like Gangsta Blac, Kingpin, Skinny Pimp, and Playa Fly, who I'll cover later in this video, just to name a few. Also, around this same time, DJ Paul and Juicy J would join forces with Nicky Scarfo and form the label Prophet Entertainment. Fast forward to 1995, 3-6 would drop their debut official album, Mystic Styles. This had cuts like Break the Law 95, The Summer, which is my favorite track off the album, In the Game, Back Against the Wall, Tear the Club Up, the original version, Big Business, and Porno Movie. That same year, they dropped the EP titled Live By Your Rep, where they would throw shots at Bone Thugs and Harmony over the similarities in their sound. In 1996, they dropped their second album, Chapter 1, The End. This was a way better album than Mystic Styles in my opinion, and this is definitely where they found their sound. My standouts: Stomp, Money Flow, Late Night Tip, Good Stuff, Walk Up to Your House, In Too Deep, Last Man Standing, Where's the Bud, and Body Parts. This was the coldest song on the album. In 1997, they would drop their third album, Chapter 2, World Domination, and here's where I became hooked. This will be the first release under Hypnotized Minds. I'ma keep it clean. Back in the day, I would confuse both Chapter 1 and 2 because they shared some of the same songs. Which one y'all like more, 1 or 2? I'ma call it a tie. My standouts: Hit a Mother, gotta keep it clean, Prophet Posse, Motivated, What You Do, Who Got Them Nines, Tear the Club Up 97, and Body Parts 2. In 1998, they would officially split from Prophet Entertainment, but they dropped a collaboration album titled Body Parts under the group The Prophet Posse. This split would cause feuds between 3-6 and other former Prophet Entertainment artists, which I'll get to later. That August, Endo G, who at the time was signed to Prophet Entertainment and also appeared on other 3-6 Mafia projects, dropped his debut solo album, Angel Dust, produced entirely by DJ Paul and Juicy J. This album was cool. It had cuts like Ain't No In My Blood, Throw Them Things, Remember Me Ballin', Will An End Make It, and Big Boy Ish. Not too long after this album dropped, Indo G and 3-6 had a falling out and they split ways. Shout out to Indo G. A month later, in September, the Kazi dropped their debut album, Time's Up. This group consisted of members MC Mac, Scan Man, and Project Pat. This had some fire on it. It had cuts like Move Mother, Hard Not to Kill, Cracking Jaws, Pure Anna, Felt That Pain, All About My Hustle, and Time's Up, my favorite track off the album. Shout out to the Kazi. Also in September, Gangsta Boo dropped her debut album, Inquiring Minds. Now at this point, Paul and Juicy was definitely elevating their production even further. This one has some certified heat rocks on it, like Don't Stand So Close to Me, Oh No, F You, Where Them Dollars At, The Ones Close Know Most, High Off That Weed, Be Real, Nasty Trick, Life in the Metro, and Who We Be. This was a knocker. Fast forward to 1999, the Tear the Club Up Thugs dropped their album, Crazy in the Last Days. Now for those that don't know, this was a subgroup outside of 3-6 that consisted of members DJ Paul, Juicy J, and Lord Infamous. This was the only album released from this trio. This one had cuts like Who the Crunkest, Smoked Out, Undercover Freaks, Hell Nah, Hypnotize Cash Money, Push 'Em Off, Slob on My Knob, All Dirty Hoes, and The End's Worst Downfall. Later that year, in September, Project Pat dropped his solo debut album, Getty Green. Now this right here is a classic album, y'all. Now I'm gonna go on record and give you a wild take. Is this album the first trap album ever? Is Getty Green the precursor of what will become trap music? Leave it in the comments. This album had nothing but pure heat on it. We talking cuts like North Memphis, Out There, You Know the Biz, Ballers, Up There, Choppers, Gold Shine, Getty Green, Stabbers, and 528 Cash. A month later, the Koopsta nigga dropped his debut solo album, DDP, Underground Solo. Considered to be a cult classic to a ton of people. I played this album a couple of times back in the day, but I never really got into it, no disrespect. It did, however, have cuts like Crucifix, Ready to Ride, and Stash Pot, the original. Oh yeah, I can't forget. Throughout 1999, 3-6 released 2 mixtapes, Volume 1, 91 to 94, and Volume 2, Club Memphis. And in 2000, they released Volume 3, Kings of Memphis. This one had the Summer remix on it. Woo, that's a classic song. I like this one better than the original. What y'all think? Leave it in the comments. The Hypnotized Camp Posse dropped their self-titled album in 2000. Now this project consisted of the 3-6 Mafia and the other artists that were signed to Hypnotized Minds, like Project Pat, T-Rock, LaChat, MC Mac, Scan Man, Lil E, Mr. Dale, and Frazier Boy. This had cuts like Drive By, Ass and Titties, We Ain't Playing, D Sucking Hoes, Who Run It, and Project Hoes, my favorite track off the album. In June of 2000, the 3-6 dropped their 4th album, When the Smoke Clears. Now this, in my opinion, is their first classic album, and it's also the one that blew them up, as it went platinum 6 months after its release. This had cuts like 44 Killers, Sippin' on Some Scissor, Weak Ass B, I'm So High, From the Back, Tongue Ring, What You Know, Act Like You Know Me, Memphis, and Put Your Signs. A month later, in July, Project Pat dropped a compilation album titled Murderers and Robbers. Not my favorite Project Pat release, but it did have a few bangers, like North North, I Get the Chewin', Riding on Chrome, and Red Rum. In February of 2001, Project Pat would drop his sophomore album, Mr. Don't Play, another classic album. And by far, to me, this one was better than Getty Green. Now, I tried to find videos to put in here, but the quality was trash, y'all. Forgive me. This had cuts like Chicken Head, Cheese and Dope, Don't Savor, If You Went From My Hood, Gorilla Pimp, my favorite track off the album, Break the Law 2001, Life We Live, my second favorite track, Y'all Ends Ain't No Killers, and Ooh Nothing, that was a banger. Also, in July of 2001, Gangsta Boo dropped her second album, Both Worlds 69. This had cuts like Hard Not to Kill, They Don't Love Me, Love Don't Live, Can I Get Paid, M-Town Representatives, Same Block, and Good and High. After this album, she would part ways with the 3-6 Mafia and Hypnotize Minds. 3-6 would go on to drop Choices in 2001, which also had a movie. Project Pat, laying the smackdown in 2002. Gangsta Boo, Inquiring Minds 2 in 2003. Along with a lot of other releases within the years to come, up until currently. Rest in peace to Lord Infamous, Gangsta Boo, and the Koopsta nigga. This brings us to Gangsta Pat, who was actually making noise in Memphis before 3-6 Mafia and 8Ball and MJG. He dropped his debut album, #1 Suspect, in March of 1991. This had cuts like Gangsta-ish and Project Pimps. He dropped his second album, All About Coming Up, in 1992. Although not his best work, this album was a little bit better than #1 Suspect, from the rhymes to the beat selection. This had cuts like Stay Away From Cali, I'm Still the Gangster, My Neighborhood, and My Name Ain't Rover. 2 years later, in 94, he dropped his third album, Sex, Money, and Murder. Now here's where we start to hear that Memphis sound. This had cuts like Can't Mess With Me, Let It Flow, Real G's Don't Die, Sex, Money, and Murder, and that type of gangster. Now here's where things start heating up. On July 10th, 1995, he dropped his fourth album, Deadly Verses. Now this is the album that put him on the map in my opinion. This was a certified heat rock, and it's also where he would start throwing shots at 3-6 Mafia. This had cuts like Deadly Verses, I Wanna Smoke, Projects. This also had Tear the Club Up. Side note, is this the reason for the beef with 3-6? Leave it in the comments. Pat is back, and the OJ story was crazy. Also in 97, he dropped The Story of My Life. This one might be his classic. What y'all think? This had cuts like No Sympathy, Sitting on the Porch, Mind on My Money, I Wanna Smoke Part 3, Untouchable, G's Ain't Supposed to Cry, Death Before Dishonesty, God Is Real, and Real Ends Tote Glocks. Fast forward to 99. He dropped Tear Your Club Down. This was another fire album, in my opinion. This had cuts like Smoke Something, I Let 'Em Know, Ends I Hang With, We Buck Up in This, GM for Life, Gangsta Party, my favorite track off the album, and Tear Your Club Down, where he really took aim at all 3-6 members. Pat would go on to drop Show Your Grill in 2000, Return of the #1 Suspect in 01, The Dro in 04, and Live from Black Haven in 2003. Shout out to Gangsta Pat. Another artist that was emerging around the same time as Gangsta Pat and 3-6 Mafia was Tommy Wright III. He dropped his debut album, Memphis Massacre, in 1992. In 94, he dropped Ashes to Ashes, Dust to Dust. This had cuts like Creepin' While You're Sleeping, Murder in the First Degree, Don't Start No Ish, and Four Corners. A year later, in 95, he dropped Runnin' and Gunnin'. This had cuts like Still Pimpin', Four Corners Part 2, Runnin' and Gunnin', One Man Gang, and Me Against the World. Also in 95, he dropped the 10 Wanted Men album. It was pretty cool. In 96, he dropped On the Run. On this album, he would throw shots at Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Now, I'm not quite sure what caused this. If y'all know, leave it in the comments. This had cuts like Take a Chance, Getting Crunk, Thuggish Ruggish Busters, Manslaughter, and Gangsta Forever. In 98, he dropped Feel Me Before They Kill Me. This had cuts like Hell on Earth, No Fear 98, Street-ish, and Hard Headed. He would go on to drop The Manson Family, Helter Skelter in 2000, and Behind Closed Doors in 01. Shout out to Tommy Wright III. Next up, Kingpin Skinny Pimp, a former associate of 3 6 Mafia, and at the time, a signed artist of Prophet Entertainment. He dropped his debut solo album, King of the Players Ball, in 1996, produced entirely by DJ Paul and Juicy J. This, in my opinion, is his first and only classic album. This has so much heat on it like One Life to Live, Midnight Hoes, my favorite track off the album, Looking for the Chewin', Y'all Ain't No Killers, I Don't Love 'Em, We Ain't No Player Haters, Pimpin' and Hoeing, Don't Test Me, King of the Players Ball, and All About Them Profits. That same year, he dropped Skinny But Dangerous, the Underground tape, which I don't believe was an official Skinny Pimp album, but it was produced by DJ Paul and Juicy J. And at this point, Skinny Pimp and 3 6 were split ways. And I'm not quite sure where the beef started or why, but after this, everything went downhill. In 98, he dropped The New Beginning. This had cuts like Untouchable, Moth Like the Mafia, and Break Yourself. In 99, he dropped 2000 Rap Dope Game. And here is where he will begin to throw shots at DJ Paul and Juicy J. I'ma keep it clean. I was very disappointed with this album. The lyrics was dope, but the beats never did it for me. No disrespect. This had cuts like 48 Hours to Respond, Down for War, INK, and Triple B Mafia Part 3. In 2000, he dropped Back to the Players Ball. I bought this album based off the album cover alone, and I'm glad I did. This was way better than 2000 Rap Dope Game. This had cuts like Hertz Village Intro, We the Crunkers, Pimpin', Get Your Bankroll, King of Memphis, Shut 'Em Down, They Gotta Pay Me, my favorite track off the album, Run Up, Get Done Up, Skinny Tails, and Die or Kill. He would go on to drop Controversy with 211, also in 2000, The Product in 2001, Pimpin' and Hustlin' in 2002, and a few others in the years to come. Shout out to Kingpin Skinny Pimp. Here we have another former Prophet Entertainment artist and former 3 6 Mafia associate, the mayor of South Memphis, Gangsta Blac. He dropped his first project titled Breaking the Law, which was a local cassette tape back in 1994, produced entirely by DJ Paul. In 96, he dropped his first official debut album, Can It Be? This is considered to be his classic album, and I agree. This was so raw. It had cuts like I'm Blowing Up, Powder, Ain't No Love, My Click So Thick, A Couple of Jackers, Where I Dwell, Ain't No Thing, Critical, Tire Shop, Life's a B, and Funky Town. After this album, he would also split ways from Prophet Entertainment. In 98, he dropped I Am the Gangster, This was a super solid follow-up to Can It Be. This had cuts like In the Beginning, Extra Extra, South Memphis, Down with the Click, Write Some Bump, Keep It Real, and The End. In '99, he dropped 74 Minutes of Bump. Now for some reason, I can't find this complete album anywhere. If you know where to find it, leave it in the comments. I'm gonna go from memory on this one. This one had cuts like Duck Your Ass, Hard on Me, Big Old Moves, Drink and Dank, South Parkway, my favorite track off the album, Realer Than Most, Call Me, and Sometimes. He would go on to drop The Underground King in 2002, Gangsta Blac in 2004, and Return of the Gangsta in 2011. Shout out to Gangsta Blac. Playa Fly, another former 3-6 Mafia associate who appeared on Smoked Out, Loked Out Volume 1 under the alias Lil Fly. Sometime after that release, he would split ways with them and go solo. In 1996, he would drop his debut album, Fly-ish, and he took aim at 3-6 Mafia, throwing shots at him heavy. This is a very classic album in my opinion. It had cuts like Nappy Hair and Gold Teeth, Crowning Me, Players in the House, The Show, Let's Get It Crunk, Got You Hot, Having Things, and Work to Do. In '98, he dropped Moving On. To me, this makes his second classic album. This had cuts like Minnie Mae Mafia, The Situation, I Be In, Still Is On, Nobody, Funkin' Bunk, and Write Some Bump. In '99, he dropped The Game On Me. This had cuts like Get Me Out, Minnie Mae Mafia Part 2, Ghetto Eyes, Talking Cash, Breaking the Law, Feel Me, Sin for Me, and In God We Trust. He would go on to drop Fly 2K in 2000. Shout out to Playa Fly. Now this one is more of a personal choice for me. Playa G. This dude should have got way more recognition and exposure back in the day. He not only was a writer, he rapped, sung, and produced all his music. He was super talented and one of my favorite artists out of Memphis from back then. In 1996, he dropped his debut album, Pimp-ish, a very underrated classic album. This had cuts like Murderer, Fake Ass Busters, F the Trunk, Drink a Yak, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, Chillin' with My Ends, Pimp-ish, Something to Ride To, Late Night, and Living in Memphis. In '98, he would drop You Not My Lady. This was a way colder album than Pimp-ish, even though they both classics in my opinion. I used to bump this album religiously back in the day. This had cuts like You Not My Lady, Jailbreak, Get Crunk, Those Who Be Slippin', My Life, pH Balanced, I Gots to Have It, Menage a Trois, my favorite track off the album, Time Is Money, Beauty Pageant, and Cloud 9. He would go on to drop Definition of a Pimp in '03, and I'm not sure if he's dropped anything since then. If he has and y'all know about it, leave it in the comments. I want to send a super shout out to Playa G, a true underrated legend. We gonna end it with DJ Squeaky, another legendary Memphis DJ that was making noise in the early '90s simultaneously as the previously mentioned artists. Now I'm gonna keep it clean. I can't pinpoint all of his earlier projects, so I'm gonna start with the ones I know. In '96, Yo Lynch dropped his debut album, Caught You Slippin', produced entirely by DJ Squeaky. In '97, he dropped DJ Squeaky and the Family, On a Mission. This would feature artists such as Tom Ski Mask, Criminal Maine and Thugsta, also known as the Project Players, and Yo Lynch primarily. In 98, he dropped DJ Squeaky Presents Tom Ski Mask, Too Wild for the World. Now personally, I've owned this album several times back in the day. This was another underrated classic. This had cuts like The Intro, Respect, Dead Men Calling, my favorite track off the album, Why Now, Players Play, Forever Hustle, I Ain't Gonna Be Able to Do It, How We Mob, See Us, How to Get Yours, and First Love. In 2000, he dropped DJ Squeaky and the Family, During the Mission, followed by the Project Players debut album, Till We Die, Yo Lynch, Lynchland, that same year, Tom Ski Mask, You Can't Hold Me Back in 01, The Legacy in 2002, and Dog in the Game in 2003. Shout out to DJ Squeaky and the Family. And that wraps things up for this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I got part 2 coming soon, so stay tuned. Till next time.